ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another exciting show here today. This is K.L.P Tonight with your host, the creative one, the swanky one, K.L.P. Hopefully you guys are ready for another exciting show here today. Available on YouTube in daily motion at K.L.P Entertainment, and also all of our audio platforms of Swanky 93.3, the radio station. So hopefully you guys are ready for another exciting show here today. We've got a good one for you guys today. Finally back in front of the camera for you guys. You know, we've been booking. You know, we've been working on a lot of things this past couple of weeks, and you guys been enjoying what we've got coming out. If you guys didn't know about it, if you are not a follower on my Instagram, what are you waiting for? Go follow me right now on Instagram at Kennedy Lucas KLP, because I did this exclusive Instagram live video, if you will. I've done it a couple days ago to talk about the release of the new album. Of course, K.L.P will be out August 24th. I can't wait for that, for you guys can really enjoy the album. But I gave you guys a little sneak peek, so hopefully you guys are ready for it, because I am super pumped for that show, for that album to come out, because it's fantastic. It's going to be one of those things where I'm just going to be happy that I produced it, but you know, you guys are really going to listen to it and really enjoy the album. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Of course, September 3rd, Hardline will be released, my latest movie, my latest cinematic film, my 21st film. Believe it or not, y'all, that is my 21st cinematic film for you guys out there. So so stoked about that. I'm really happy with the progress that we made on the film. The film is done, of course, obviously, and you guys saw the trailer, and I'm so excited for you guys to see it, because it's just gonna be one of those things where it's gonna be epic. That's all I can say. So speaking of epic, of course I was gonna talk about it on today's show, and of course I am talking about it, the Suicide Squad, y'all. So the Suicide Squad is now playing on HBO Max if you have a subscription, and it's also available in theaters. Of course, opening weekend, they made about $26 million opening weekend, and a lot of people, that has been the topic of conversation, because that has not hit great numbers. You know, it hasn't hit the best numbers for movie making, for good movies like that, and I think I know why it didn't make as much money on the theoretical side, because a lot of people stayed home to watch it on their HBO Max subscription. So I have HBO Max, and of course I went to my couch and I watched it via my couch in my home. Just something about comforts of your own home when you're watching a new movie. You want to watch it in the comforts of your own home, and that's exactly what I did there. I wanted to watch in the comforts of my own home, so I booted up my HBO Max. I bought a bag of candy, bag of M&Ms, if you will, and you know, I sat on my couch and I watched Suicide Squad. So let me tell you, if you do have an HBO Max subscription, I recommend you guys watch it right now, right after this show, because this movie, James Gunn did really well in this movie. It's one of those movies where it's a little bit gruesome. Of course, I listened to the Riot podcast with Hudson and Nikki, and they did their review. And of course, I wanted to do my review on the show. This movie is very good. James Gunn did fantastic in this movie, I feel, because he pulled out a lot of elements like he should, and he really made it more of a comedic type of superhero, supervillain type movie. It was that movie that you didn't really want to, you couldn't take the characters to heart like most superheroes and supervillains. You take those characters to heart. With the members of the Suicide Squad, you had supervillains, but they were kind of superheroes a little bit, but they had some comedic, funny things to it, so you couldn't really take them too seriously, if that makes sense. It was more of a comedic. It is gruesome, so I really recommend it, and a lot of people who's been podcasting about this movie, I say this movie is not fit for your kids. I know a lot of kids love superhero, supervillain movies. A lot of kids love Marvel. Not trying to intertwine the two between the two companies, but I say that this movie probably won't be for your kids. They're younger kids that want to see this movie, unless they can stomach it, because there's a lot of gruesome things, a lot of gruesome cutscenes that fit the movie, but it may not be best suited for your children. So I wouldn't really recommend it so hardly for children to watch this movie, unless they can stomach it, unless they're more mature. This movie is that movie where it's bringing out all the elements. I read this article that Warner Brothers gave James Gunn, the director of Suicide Squad, gave him the green light to do whatever he wants to do to make this movie good. And honestly, I think this was a good sign for Warner Brothers and DC, because we all know, if it even if it was a thing, y'all, of course, the DC versus Marvel battle, which cinematic universe is better? Is it DC Cinematic Universe or Marvel Cinematic Universe? This was a great comeback, I would say, for DC. DC has produced a lot of good movies, but DC has also produced a lot of bad movies. Of course, Aquaman was a good movie. Wonder Woman, the first one and second one, was pretty good. And now you have Suicide Squad. And of course, you're going to have Black Adam starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson later in the future. So Marvel is they're starting to come back with the war of their cinematic films, and I really do enjoy that the most, because, you know, I love DC too. I have to say I love Marvel a little bit more, but if I had to choose, it'll be Marvel. But DC is also good. They're really producing a lot of good things for this, and the Suicide Squad was that movie to really take it over the edge. Of course, Viola Davis, she's one of the characters in there. She did really, really well in that movie. Idris Elba is in this movie. You guys know Idris Elba has been the topic of the conversation in the last couple days with Suicide Squad, and he also announced, a little snippet for you guys on the show, he also announced on his Twitter account that he's going to be playing Knuckles in the next Sonic movie. So I'm stoked. I'm excited for that, but that's going to be another topic of conversation. John Cena is in the movie. He's playing Peacemaker, and it's quite interesting because, you know, you have John Cena, the wrestler, you know, and, you know, he's stepping outside of the wrestling ring. Well, he's back in wrestling now. I heard he's going to be at SummerSlam, and, you know, the Summer of Cena, if you guys seen that on TV. But he's been really good because his first movie this year was Fast 9. I would say, well, he probably did another movie that I didn't know about, but Fast 9 was a Kickstarter for him getting back into his movie scene. And then after that, you have Suicide Squad. So John Cena's been working. Nikki and Hudson on the Riot podcast, shout out to them. They talked about, you know, they couldn't take John Cena playing Peacemaker because it was funny. It was funny. They said on the podcast that every time John Cena spoke his lines in the movie, you think he's going to come out and just give you a monologue, give you a dialogue of why he's the best Peacemaker, why he is the champ. So because he's a wrestler. So it's interesting, and I kept thinking that he was just going to bust out and just start a monologue and try to parent somebody. So that's John Cena's way. It's good to have him in this movie. It's good to have him in any movie. I actually do enjoy John Cena in movies. Do I think that he's better than The Rock in the movie scene? No, absolutely not. But he's very, very good actor in some of the movies that I've seen. From his past down to his future, John Cena's doing really, really, really well within the movie scene of things. Of course, you got Margot Robbie, of course. He's playing Harley Quinn in this movie. She's spectacular, as always. Any movie Margot Robbie is starring in, she does really, really well in it. And there's been a lot of movies. The first Suicide Squad, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, The Wolf of Wall Street, and now you have the newer version of the Suicide Squad. Any movie that she's played in. Oh, and I, Tonya. I seen I, Tonya. That's a good movie too. She's fantastic. So we were talking about it, and you guys know what I'm talking about. It's been in articles before where there's a scene in the movie. Spoiler alert for you guys who haven't seen the movie. I'm sorry if you haven't seen the movie. Pause this show so you guys can go watch the movie. But there's a scene in there where she gets captured. And when she's getting captured, she uses her feet to get the keys from the bodyguard to unhook herself. And they say in articles in news, and she said it publicly on talk shows before, that she has done that stunt. That wasn't CGI, it wasn't editing, that was her actually performing that stunt. So it's just very interesting. James Gunn said it too in a I forgot what show he was. I don't think he was at Jimmy Kimmel, but he was in one of the Jimmy shows. where James Gunn said, yeah, Margaret Robbie really did that scene. We didn't have an extra for her. We had an extra prepared to do that scene, but she did it all herself and all in one take. So it's very good when you do movies and you film movies all in one take. That is fantastic. That's very, very fantastic when we do things in one take. Previously, I just filmed the movie Two Wrongs 2. Shell Purcell, shout out to her. There's one scene in the movie where, we shot in one take, and that's just, it's fast and it's boom, it's cut. It's perfect. It's done. So doing things in one take is very, very good. It's very, very good for studio purposes and money purposes as well. So Suicide Squad is that movie, the summer event you guys don't want to miss. There's epicness going on. Idris Elba's character, of course, is in prison like the rest of them. The King Shark, I forgot his name. The King Shark is not his name, but I forgot his name. Of course, played by Sylvester Stallone. Great voice actor, honestly. He's done a lot of great voices before. But yeah, so any show, any movie that she's done, she's pretty good. So I really do recommend you guys going out to watch the Suicide Squad. It is a show that a movie you don't really want to miss for sure. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we have a little bit more to talk to you guys more on K.L.P Tonight. Stay tuned. Welcome back, of course. K.L.P Tonight, we're chatting it up. We got Tyrus Lester in the studio, making sure that we look good on camera for you guys. And I got to remember to not look at the monitor, look at the actual camera. I keep doing that. You guys are there, and I'm keep looking up. I don't know what it is. We were just talking about how we still don't have a PlayStation 5. Of course, PlayStation 5 is still out of stock. I actually talked to my brother earlier today, and we were talking about gaming and related news, and I was just telling him, I've tried everywhere, Best Buy, Walmart, GameStop, PlayStation 5s, they're sold out everywhere. So no luck for me, but it's okay. We'll wait until the end of this year of 2021, and hopefully we'll have some brought back into status here. So to talk a little bit more news announcements, you guys know on the show, I never like to talk so much about just movie news or tech news, because we got a lot of different international people that like our content and what we do for K.L.P Entertainment. I like to just talk just regular news for you guys. So we all know it is the month of August, and let me tell you, it is the hottest month I've ever experienced. When I'm out there on the road doing things, going to meetings, seeing people, within this month of August, it has been very, very humid. Very, very humid. Coming to the studio, I was sweating, pouring sweating. I had to go to the bathroom and wipe myself down because I was just completely wet all over. It was just profusely sweat, just dripping from my face. So I say that to say this, ladies and gentlemen, if you're out there on the road in this month of August, especially if you live right here in Atlanta, Georgia, please be sure to stay hydrated because it is hot. It's hot Atlanta. It's hot Georgia. It's so hot, y'all. So I really recommend you guys, staying cool. I feel bad for the kids out there because we all know school has started back and they're out there riding the bus. Most parents are picking their kids up from school. They're car riders, but we do have bus riders out there in Atlanta, Georgia. So a lot of students are riding the very, very hot, leathery school bus from and back into school. I wanted to talk about this show because there's a point to the story. But I remember back in the day when I was in grade school, a whole decade ago, it felt like, where I was riding the bus. And it was so hot. And where I was coming from, before I went to high school and a little bit of middle school up here in Metro Atlanta, I went to school down there in Central Georgia. So we had those very, very old school buses that was just so hot, no air conditioning. When students got on the bus, they immediately rolled down that window. It was so hot, and a lot of people were just up on each other, just sweating profusely. So, it reminds me of that because I actually, on my way to the studio, I saw, of course, I got stopped by a bus, and the bus was letting kids off the bus to go home, and I could just see the sweat in the students because it's hot in some of them buses. So that's when we moved to Metro Atlanta, and then I start driving to school. I didn't start driving to school till I was about I want to say about 10th grade, 11th grade is when I start driving myself to school. And that was the best thing too, because even though my car was a old 2003 red Ford Focus, it was very, very old, but it was mine. And I felt like I was the shit because I pulled up to school in my whip, and I felt very important because a lot of people had whips, or well, still do, but a lot of people had whips at the time. I went to Central Gwinnett, shout out to the Black Knights, and we some of the kids had money, so they pulling up in their BMWs, their Mustangs. I'm pulling up in my 2003 Ford Focus red dash. So it was mine. That is not the car I drive now. It completely upgraded since then, but it just reminds me of those times. The purpose of the story, K.L.P. Tonight, because I feel like I'm just rambling on the show, but you guys love my talk shows, man, is the mandate for masks for students. If you guys didn't know, I've been at the gym, and the gym has nothing to do with this, but I see it on the gym monitors, the TVs in the gym, where a lot of parents are really, really, really concerned about the students going back to school wearing a mask. Let me tell you, it's hard to wear a mask in an enclosed environment. I've been in areas and situations where masks were mandated for that location. It's hard, especially when it's hot. It's hard to rock a mask when it's hot in the middle of the month of August. So it's a very, very hard thing. I don't think, and because it gets a little political, we're not going to talk so much political stuff on today's show, but I just want to make you guys think about that, make you guys be aware of the situation where parents are so upset about their kids wearing masks inside all day for 8 hours straight to college, to grade school. So it's one of those things where it's a sticky situation. I don't think they offer online courses as of today, as of I know. I think a lot of students are heading back to campus, and they're really trying to do their thing where they're keeping the students safe, but still trying to continue the day-to-day operations when it comes to school time, because students cannot be out so much with not having classes. Kids have to go back to school. College students have to go back to college. So it's a grateful thing that we're back in business, kind of. But it's a thing where a lot of people are very concerned about the mask mandate. I think it's a great idea because you don't know what Sally Sue is coming home from. They might say that Sally Sue didn't have COVID, but then it might be something that their family not telling everyone, and they're letting Sally Sue come to class knowing that she might have COVID and spreading it around. So I don't think school boards are stupid for this. I think they're smart because you don't know the family environment. A lot of people say, I've tested negative for COVID, or I've got both sides of the vaccine. And I'll be honest, I haven't got my vaccine yet, y'all, because I'm scared. I'm very scared of the vaccine. It hasn't been proving that it's 100% safe yet. I have friends who took the vaccine and they got really, really sick. So I am COVID-19 negative, of course. I did have my COVID test. I'm negative, which is great. But that vaccine stuff, I don't know. I'm not too persuaded yet. So that's why when I'm in a closed environment, I have a mask up. Here in the studio, your mask is optional. A lot of our staff members, they go through the testing and vaccine to make sure they don't have anything. And of course, if you test positive here and you work for K.L.P. Entertainment, I'm sending you home. That's just how it is. You get paid leave. We'll figure that out, but you can't be here. So that's how we do it in the studio. But students are going back to classes and they're having to wear the mask, and a lot of parents are not happy about it. They say that it was a part of their freedom to not have the mask. It has nothing to do with politicals. And anyway, people within the last year and a half now, a lot of people have made this whole pandemic thing so political where we're forgetting the science of it. We're forgetting the bacteria side of it because people want to be dumbasses here in America. They want to make things political, and that's why a lot of people are stupid to make things political. They're doing it for the safety of the students, not because of it's a political move. A lot of people have protested about it. A lot of parents have protested. Honestly, these parents who are protesting about it, about kids having to wear masks in school, it's during the weekday. So are you not going to work? I mean, I don't have the kids. I thank God I ain't got no kids, but if I am a parent and my kid's at school, I'm off to work. I ain't worried about this protest about kids having to wear a mask. You gonna wear a mask because you want to be safe. That's great. I'm gonna, that's the safety protocol. But I don't have all day to stand out there and protest about kids needing to and have to wear masks on grade school grounds. I am off to work. So those parents must have had too many free time on their hands to not really think about going to work. Us adults, we go to work. Whatever we work, we go to work. So I'm not out there protesting. I am in my office working. That's how it is. You can tell a lot of these parents that just have a lot of free time on their hands just to stand out there and protest all day about kids having to wear a mask. Let me know what you guys think. This is going to wrap it up here on K.L.P tonight. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's show. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channels of YouTube and Daily Motion at K.L.P Entertainment. Listen to all of our audio platforms, SNN, GNN, On Air with K.L.P, and of course, Commotion Gaming Network. Don't miss podcasting news for that. For sure, I say drink water every 15 minutes. Every 5 minutes you need to drink water because it's hot in the middle of August. That's going to wrap it up here on today's show. I'm K.L.P. Have a great night and stay swinging.